ever used a popular Korean sheet mask or a trendy retinol serum only to find that it actually burns your skin or clogs your pores? You're not alone if that happened to you. You see, Indian skin is a bit different, and so some products made for people in other countries might not work well on our skin. In this video, I'm going to explain what I mean by that and what we can actually do about it. The first one is Indian skin is generally a bit more thicker than the other skin types, meaning the top layer epidermis is a bit more denser, and so this affects how the products sit on our skin and how well the products get absorbed by the skin. Serums, for example, can sit on our skin a bit longer rather than being absorbed in quickly. This doesn't mean we should necessarily stop using the serum. In most cases, what we will need to do is actually wait a bit longer before we move on to the next step. So we don't apply serum and then straight away apply moisturizer or whatever your next step skincare product might be. Yes, every skin type, they do have to wait a bit before they move on to the next product. But what I'm trying to get to is, because our skin is a bit thicker, we might have to wait a bit longer, maybe around 2 minutes or so. So wait for the serum to completely dry, completely get absorbed by the skin, and then move on to your next product. Otherwise, if you're going to put one on top of the other without one being absorbed, that will lead to a lot of congestion and irritation for the skin. And also, this also means layering too many products on our skin might actually not work well for us. The 5-step, the 10-step or the 7 or the 8-step routine, that will not work well for us because too many products. Already there is one serum which is struggling to get in. You waited for a bit and then gone on to the second product. Now imagine topping it off with 5 more serums before you move on to your moisturizer and then the sunscreen. That is so much product which is just sitting there. So those kind of multiple step routines usually does not work well on our skin. So stick to a simple routine. We don't need multiple layers. Just 2 or 3 products in one routine should be more than enough. When products stay back on the skin without being absorbed completely, that will lead to a lot of breakouts on the skin, irritation for the skin. Another thing is exfoliate regularly, meaning because the skin is already thicker, if we don't exfoliate regularly, that will also result, lack of exfoliation will also result in a buildup of dead cells, which is going to add to the thick layer. So a thick layer, on top of it you've got a thick dead cell layer which has not been exfoliated off. So that's going to make the penetration of these skincare products even harder. So exfoliate regularly, but that doesn't mean you exfoliate multiple times. It's a fine balance, because you exfoliate multiple times, that's going to result in irritation and pigmentation for the skin. So 1 to 2 times a week should be more than enough. But of course, if your skin is acne prone, then the exfoliation routine will change, but that's not the topic of this video. Everything is okay, normal, then exfoliate at least 1 to 2 times a week. And use chemical exfoliants, not your physical exfoliants like your seed powder, and try to stay away from the basin and the gram floor, which is very normal ingredients that people use at homes to exfoliate their skin. The next thing is our climate matters. India has extreme and varied climate. A hydrating mask made for the Korean winters might not sit well on your skin if you are in a Mumbai summer heat. A popular thick cream might not sit well on your skin if you are sitting in Chennai. So adjust your skincare based on the seasons. Light gels might be more than enough in humid weathers. Another thing is any irritation on our skin will eventually lead to dark spots and pigmentation. This is a bigger problem for us than all the other skin types. Now, once the dark spots and pigmentation occur on our skin, it is very difficult, very expensive to get rid of, and in some cases we might actually never be able to get rid of. So we have to be mindful of this fact and then adjust our products accordingly. So let me give you a few examples. Niacinamide, very high concentrations of niacinamide, maybe it's a 10% or 15% or whatnot, that can actually lead to a bit of irritation, and this can happen to any skin type. But on Indian skin type, that irritation can lead to dark spots and pigmentation. So when you use an active ingredient like niacinamide, go with a lower concentration one. Up to 5% does the job. The same with vitamin C, the pure form of vitamin C, L-ascorbic acid, really high concentrations of this, or a good derivative of vitamin C, the high concentrations, let's say 20% or so, can irritate many skin types. But for Indian skin type, again, that irritation has its own big consequences. Retinoids. Retinoids is a must-have skincare ingredient. Now this is the best ingredient when it comes to well aging of the skin. Having said that, we need to start slow. This again is applicable for every skin type. What I'm trying to get to is, for other skin types it can only cause, let's say, this much problem. For us, the problem is magnified because of that pigmentation and the dark spot issue. With retinols, always start small. Start with retinol, which is your least strength one. Even in retinol, start with the lowest concentration, get your skin used to it, and then gradually get to retinol, and then get to retinoic acid. So go step by step, and always use retinoids in the night time. So these kind of rules are really important for everyone. For us, it's doubly, triply, whatever the word is important because of the other consequences. Again, glycolic acid, a wonderful skincare ingredient. It is a very good chemical exfoliant. Other than exfoliating our skin, it has a lot of other good benefits for our skin as well. But you will see skincare products with really high concentration of glycolic acid, which might not actually be needed for our skin. For us, anything about 8%, 9%, max 10%, anything about that, you have to be really careful. So always start slow. And then the chemical peels. Chemical peels are forever. Whenever I open the social media, some or the other chemical peel is trending. And these chemical peels have really high concentrations of those exfoliating acids, like 15, 20 or 25 and upwards. We have to be really careful. That will cause a lot of problems for our skin. But am I saying we should avoid all this and that's the safest route? No. We need to use these ingredients because these ingredients, a lot of research has been done on them and shown that they work really well for the skin, and we need those benefits from them. But what I'm trying to get to is, we need to start small. We need to use it the right way, and we don't need to layer too many of these actives. And in some cases, we might never have to go to those high concentrations. Like for example, those chemical peels. We might never need to get to those high level concentrations. The lower levels might forever be more than enough for us. And in cases you do have to go to the higher levels, whatever your reasons might be, don't do it on your own. Only do it under the supervision of a reputed professional, not any professional, of a reputed professional. And then when you have acne, the chances of that leading to, once it heals, leading to post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, the PIH, is really high for Indian skin, because that irritation, any irritation will lead to that pigmentation, and the chances of that are very high for Indian skin. So when you have that acne, apart from using ingredients which treats acne, always incorporate your anti-pigmentation ingredients, anti-inflammatory ingredients as well in your routine. So the anti-inflammatory ingredients are the ones which are going to lower the irritation and the inflammation. Anti-pigmentation ingredients are the ones which are actually going to tackle the pigmentation. Why do you need the anti-inflammatory ingredients, you might ask? Because you see, the inflammation is what is always leading to pigmentation. So by controlling inflammation, in a lot of cases, we are actually controlling the cause of the pigmentation. So that's why we need the anti-inflammatory. But some of the inflammation might slip through the ranks and would have already resulted in pigmentation or on the way to resulting pigmentation. So for that, we need the anti-pigmentation skincare ingredients. I know I'm trying to explain it in a very easy and maybe not a very technical way, but I thought I should, because this will make it clear. And that takes me to the moisturizer. Moisturizer is a skincare product which most of us use on a daily basis. So pick a good moisturizer. Pick a moisturizer which, apart from its hydrating ingredients and hydration retaining ingredients, now these are two set of ingredients which any moisturizer should have. Pick a moisturizer which has got at least a couple or at least one anti-inflammatory ingredient and at least one anti-pigmentation ingredient. Now niacinamide is an ingredient which can double as both anti-inflammatory and anti-pigment. Maybe you could pick a moisturizer with panthenol in it, which is really good in controlling the inflammation. Some moisturizers have licorice root extract in them. That's really good for controlling the pigmentation. Then the next thing is the built-in SPF. Say a lot of Indians, we assume that we have a built-in SPF, sun protection factor, because of the melanin. Melanin is a pigment which kind of gives us some protection against the sun's UV rays. The truth is, the amount of protection this melanin, the inbuilt melanin that we have, gives us is somewhere between SPF 5 and SPF 7. SPF is a number which actually measures how much protection a particular thing offers against the sun's UV rays. So the amount of inbuilt protection we have is tops SPF 7. But the minimum protection we need is at least SPF 30. So wear 7 and wear 30. So we are nowhere, not even half of the minimum required amount. So what I'm trying to get to is, a sunscreen is a must. And another thing is, for us, the risk of the skin cancer and all that and the sunburn might not be as high as it would be for our white skin tone friends. But for us, we have another issue. We've got the pigmentation. The problem is the sun's UV rays also ages the skin and causes pigmentation, and that we are very, very prone to. Our skin can get pigmented really badly if we don't use sunscreen. And pigmentation, once it comes up on the skin, very difficult to get rid of, very expensive to get rid of, and in some cases impossible to get rid of. We need that sunscreen. Don't ever assume we have enough protection, because we don't. A lot of us Indians have oily skin. I actually have dry skin, but a lot of us have oily skin. So oily skin, you've got to use products which would suit your skin type. So if a cream, for example, is trending and popular, that doesn't mean you go put it on your skin. Check what that product, what skin type. Most good skincare products will mention what skin type it is suited for. So always check that as well, and only buy if that suits your skin type. See if it's for oily, see if it's for dry skin type. Only buy when it suits your skin type. Don't just buy it based on the popularity. Normally for dry skin, we would need a thicker textured product. But in humid weather, we might actually, I am usually happy when I go to Chennai, happy with a lotion or a light gel, because any thick cream there for me is going to cause a lot of breakouts on my skin. It doesn't sit well with my skin. But if your skin does feel very dry, you will have to go for a thicker textured product than a lotion. So basically what I'm trying to get to is always be mindful of where your skin is and adjust accordingly. Not everything suits everyone. What ages our skin usually is the pigmentation. Pigmentation will age the skin as well. And the way to control that pigmentation is to use the sunscreen every day and to use the anti-pigmentation product regularly. And another thing is the humidity advantage. Humidity actually can make your skin glow. I always find when I go down south where it's really humid, or wherever it's really humid, my skin suddenly, overnight, my skin feels all very glowing, and that's thanks to the humidity. So every skin type has its own concerns. In this video, I'm talking about the Indian skin type because that's the skin type I have. I'm sure all the other people also have their own skin concerns, which they're all making videos about. So what I'm trying to get to is don't go by the popularity and trending things which is trending in other countries and just blindly assume it would work for you. In short, what we need to focus on is to prevent that irritation. Go slow with the actives. Don't layer too many products, and always use a sunscreen. Bye for now. I hope this video helped you. If it did, please give me a like and do subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.